I told you that someone making $45,000 a year in their 20s could retire with more wealth than someone making $150,000 a year? Sounds impossible, right? But it's happening right now, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. And more importantly, how you can be that person. Here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to hear. Your 20s and 30s are either the launchpad to generational wealth, or the decades where you quietly slip into a lifetime of financial mediocrity. There's no middle ground, and the scariest part, most people don't realize which path they're on until it's too late. I'm going to share something with you today that the financial industry doesn't want you to know. Something so simple, yet so powerful, that if you implement just 3 of the strategies we're about to cover, you could be looking at an extra $1 million by the time you're 60. Stay with me, this isn't theory, this is the blueprint. Let me paint you a picture. It's 2026. The world has changed dramatically. AI is reshaping every industry. The cost of living is at an all-time high, and the old rules of wealth building, they're completely broken. Your parents' advice about working for one company for 40 years and retiring with a pension, that's fantasy fiction now. The game has changed, but here's the incredible news. The opportunities have never been greater for those who know how to play the new game. In the next 12 minutes, we're going to cover the exact framework that young millionaires are using right now in 2026 to build wealth faster than any previous generation. We're talking about how to leverage the triple compounding effect that most people completely miss. The psychological money traps that keep 90% of high earners broke. And the one investment strategy that's outperformed everything else over the last 5 years. But here's what makes this different from every other finance video you've watched. We're not going to talk about cutting out lattes or living in your parents' basement. This is about strategic wealth building that actually works in the real world. Because here's what I've learned after studying hundreds of self-made millionaires under 40. Building wealth isn't about deprivation. It's about decisions the right decisions made consistently in your 20s and 30s. So let's get into it. Chapter 1, the triple compounding effect. Okay, let's start with the most powerful wealth building force in existence. And no, it's not crypto, it's not real estate, it's not even starting a business. It's something Albert Einstein allegedly called the 8th wonder of the world, compound interest. But wait, don't click away. Because what most people don't understand is that there are actually 3 types of compounding happening simultaneously when you build wealth correctly in your 20s and 30s. Let me introduce you to Sarah. She's 25 years old, makes $50,000 a year, and she starts investing $400 a month into a diversified portfolio. Just $400. That's 1 weekend out per month, 1 fewer streaming service, and 1 meal prep instead of eating out. Now meet David. He's 35, makes $100,000 a year, but he's been putting off investing because he wanted to enjoy his youth. At 35, he starts investing $800 a month, double what Sarah puts in. Fast forward to when they're both 65. Sarah has approximately $1.4 million. David, about $950,000. Even though he invested double the monthly amount, he ends up with $1 million less. This is the power of time in the market, but here's where it gets really interesting. Type 1, your money compounds. This is what we just saw. At an average 8% annual return, your investments double approximately every 9 years. If you start at 25, your money doubles 4 times before you're 60. Start at 35, only 3 times. Type 2, your skills compound. Every skill you learn in your 20s and 30s doesn't just add to your value, it multiplies it. Learn sales, that helps you in any career. Learn public speaking, that accelerates your promotions. Learn to code or understand AI, that's a force multiplier in 2026. These skills stack on each other, and by your 30s, you're not just 10% more valuable than you were at 22. You're 500% more valuable. Type 3, your network compounds. The people you meet in your 20s become the business partners, investors, and opportunity creators of your 30s and 40s. Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn, said it best: your network is your net worth. Every meaningful relationship you build now has exponential potential. So here's your first action step: calculate your compound clock. How many years until you're 65? That's how many times your money can double. Every year you wait, you're not just losing 1 year, you're losing an entire doubling cycle. Let that sink in for a moment. Chapter 2: The Psychology of Wealth. Now here's where most people mess this up, and it has nothing to do with math or strategy, it's all psychology. There's a phenomenon called lifestyle creep that destroys more wealth-building plans than market crashes, bad investments, and inflation combined. Picture this: you're 26. You get a raise from $50,000 to $65,000, $15,000 extra dollars, but somehow by the end of the year you're not any richer. Why? Because you upgraded your apartment, bought a nicer car, started eating out more, your lifestyle crept up to match your income. Here's the secret that separates the wealthy from everyone else: they widen the gap between earning and spending as their income grows. Morgan Housel, author of The Psychology of Money, studied this for years. He found that true wealth isn't built by people who earn the most. It's built by people who have the biggest gap between their ego and their income. Let me break this down. When you're 28 and making $70,000, you could live like you make $70,000, or you could live like you make $50,000 and invest the difference. That $20,000 annual difference invested for 30 years at 8% return, that's $2.4 million. But here's what makes this even more powerful in 2026. You can live an incredible life on way less than you think. We have access to entertainment, education, and experiences that would have cost fortunes 20 years ago. Netflix instead of cable, YouTube instead of expensive courses, remote work that eliminates commute costs. The lifestyle you're chasing, it's often less satisfying than the financial freedom you're sacrificing to get it. So here's your second action step: calculate your freedom number. How much do you need invested to generate $3,000 a month in passive income? Using the 4% rule, that's about $900,000. Sounds like a lot, right? But if you're 25 and invest $850 a month at 8% return, you hit that number by 50. That's financial independence at 50, not 65. What would you do with an extra 15 years of freedom? Chapter 3: The 2026 Investment Strategy. Alright, let's talk about the practical stuff. Where do you actually put your money in 2026? The investment landscape has changed dramatically, but here's what hasn't changed: diversification and consistency still beat trying to time the market or chase the latest hot trend. The portfolio that's been crushing it for young wealth builders, it's simpler than you think. 70% in broad market index funds. Think S&P 500 index funds, total stock market funds. Boring? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. These have averaged 10% annually over the long term. In 2026, with AI and technology reshaping everything, this exposure gives you a piece of the growth without trying to pick winners. 20% in international exposure. The US isn't the only game in town. Emerging markets, developed international markets. This is your hedge against home country bias. 10% in alternative growth. This is where you can get creative. Maybe it's REITs for real estate exposure. Maybe it's a small position in Bitcoin or Ethereum if you believe in crypto. Maybe it's a high-growth sector fund. This is your asymmetric bet portion. But here's the most important part: automate everything. Set up automatic transfers from your checking to your investment account the day after payday. Make it so you never see the money. As Ramit Sethi says, the best investment strategy is the one you'll actually stick with. Conclusion: your wealth building blueprint. Let's bring this all together. Building wealth in your 20s and 30s comes down to 3 core principles. Number 1, start now and harness the triple compounding effect. Time is your greatest asset, and it's the one asset you can never get back. Number 2, master the psychology of wealth. Widen the gap between your income and your spending. Your future self will thank you more than you can possibly imagine right now. Number 3, invest consistently in diversified, low-cost index funds. Automate the process. Stop trying to get rich quick and focus on getting rich certain. Here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you: building wealth is simple, but it's not easy. It requires delayed gratification. It requires discipline. It requires making different choices than the people around you. But every single wealthy person under 40 that I've studied has said the same thing: I wish I'd started earlier. You have something they'll never get back. You have time. 10 years from now, you're going to be 10 years older regardless of what you do today. The only question is, will you be 10 years older and wealthy, or 10 years older and still wishing you'd started? The choice is yours, the time is now, and the blueprint, you just learned it. If this video gave you clarity on your financial future, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on building wealth in the real world. Drop a comment below. What's one action you're taking this week to start building wealth? I read every comment. Remember, your 20s and 30s are your financial foundation. Build it strong, build it smart, and build it now. This is your decade, make it count.